These three shopping hacks almost feel illegal. Using them to fend off an alien invasion? Absolutely insane. Think Black Friday is chaotic? Add an alien invasion to the mix and watch as a relentless crowd of bargain hunters unwittingly defends Earth. Armed with determination and ridiculous courage, listen as this clash of sales and survival escalates to an epic finale. You won't believe what happens when kitchen appliances become weapons. By the end, you'll be convinced that humanity's quirkiest traits are its greatest defense. Don't miss the wild conclusion. Karen Thompson took a long swig of her cold coffee, wiping tendrils of graying hair from her sweaty forehead. The doors of Megastore loomed before her, a metallic fortress guarding the holy grail of bargains. Inside, shoppers had already breached the entrances, engaging in primal battles over discounted items. Karen could smell desperation in the air, mixed with the stale breath of hundreds of bargain hunters. With a steely gaze, Karen pushed past the first wave of shoppers, her shopping cart a makeshift battering ram. "Clear the way, money-saving savages," she roared, not caring about the puzzled glances from those who dared stand in her path. Today, she was a warrior. Today, survival of the fittest meant saving 50% on electronics. Her daughter Mandy lagged behind, her fingers tapping on her phone, completely oblivious to the madness. "Mom, do we really need another plasma TV?" she asked, her tone drenched with teenage disdain. Karen didn't miss a beat, ramming her cart into a stack of discounted blenders that confounded her progress. "Life isn't about need, darling. It's about who gets the last TV," she said, a manic grin spreading across her face. Behind them, the automated doors swung open again, this time emitting an odd noise that even the cacophony of the megastore couldn't drown out. Karen glanced up, spotting the unusual blue glow emanating from the ceiling. Giant hovering spheres with glowing blue lights, a sight which should have sent a sane person running for cover, were descending into the store. "Nice drones," she muttered under her breath, eyes narrowing as she calculated the quickest route to her prize. Commander Zulon surveyed the chaos unfolding below with disdain. These humans, rabid and unruly, seemed to be engaged in some form of ritualistic war. Landing his craft, he motioned to his soldiers, who began spreading out through the sea of humans. "Stick to the plan. Neutralize resistance," Zulon ordered, his voice a low, guttural growl that rumbled through the communication devices nestled in his soldiers' helmets. The Ekreed soldiers hovered silently, projecting beams of light that scanned the shelves, their advanced technology detecting no threat in these bizarre artifacts called doorbusters. Zulon, misunderstanding the primal ferocity of the human crowd, perceived them as a formidable defense force. Karen was oblivious to these cosplayers, as she put it, more concerned with weaving through aisle 10 where the prize awaited. Another woman reached for the same plasma TV. Karen's cart collided with hers in unspoken agreement to make this an issue of dominance. "Not today, sweetheart," Karen said, yanking the TV off the shelf. Suddenly, an ear-piercing shriek filled the air. Dropping from the ceiling, an Ekreed soldier confronted a frenzied group of teenagers who faced it with nothing but sheer teenage indifference. "Move along, E.T., one kid said, shoving his way past the bemused alien. Karen wheeled her cart around, TV intact. She saw Mandy standing, slack-jawed, at the sight of the hovering soldiers. "Mom, they're not cosplayers. I think they're aliens." Karen narrowed her eyes again. "Aliens? Oh, please. Do they even know about Black Friday?" She laughed, the sound dark and defiant. "If they do, they'll regret stepping into this madhouse." Zulon watched the humans continue their chaotic scuffle, perplexed by their brutal efficiency. His soldiers, now attempting crowd control, received a harsh lesson in human desperation. A particularly bulky shopper swung a microwave like a club, sending two Ekreed soldiers reeling. Karen bulldozed her cart forward, plasma TV still secured. Ahead, she saw a squad of aliens attempting to organize themselves. "Not in my way, you're not," she muttered. Using every ounce of her shopping prowess, she rammed into the squad, sending them sprawling. "Mom, stop!" Mandy shouted, staring at the chaos. Karen paused only for a second, tossing her head back to Mandy, her eyes ablaze with an odd mixture of glee and madness. "Honey, we're saving the world one deal at a time." As the Ekreed reeled from the unexpected onslaught of Karen's shopping cart tactics, a thought formed in Karen's mind. If these were aliens, they chose the worst day to invade Earth. And she, Karen Thompson, in her endless pursuit of deals, was their worst nightmare. Karen Thompson felt an unexpected thrill as she wheeled her cart through the frenzied aisles. Plasma TV secured, she made her way towards the front of the store, every part of her body attuned to the chaos around her. She'd seen those cosplayers. No, Mandy insisted they were aliens, attempting to organize the unruly shoppers. But here in the heart of Black Friday, even aliens would bow to the chaos. Mandy, who had now taken to briskly walking alongside her, voiced her doubts. "Mom, do you really think hitting them with a shopping cart is a good idea?" Karen didn't slow down. "Honey, in a battle for savings, we take every advantage we can get. If these guys think they're tough, they've never met a mother on Black Friday." Her lips curled into a sardonic smile. Meanwhile, Commander Zulon scrutinized the humans' incomprehensible behavior. "Are they warriors or just mad?" he muttered. His second-in-command, Jorvax, looked uncertain, his glowing green eyes flickering. "Commander, their tactics are unconventional. They show no fear," Jorvax noted, ducking as a waffle iron flew past his head. Zulon's gaze narrowed. "Prepare the countermeasures. We'll show these humans what true order looks like." Karen and Mandy reached the checkout zone, which was equally chaotic. The lines stretched on, people wrestled over shopping carts, and harried cashiers scanned items in a daze. Karen's heart drummed with excitement and the promise of victory, even as she kept one eye on the alien soldiers, who continued to be absorbed in their strange attempts at control. "Mom, look! I think that alien is doing something to the registers." Mandy nudged her, pointing. An Ekreed soldier tinkered with the checkout machines, eliciting worried murmurs from the crowd. Karen chuckled darkly. "Good luck, buddy. Those things break down every Black Friday anyway." She raised her voice, addressing the crowd. "Everyone, we've got company, and they aren't here for the sales." The shoppers paused, confused and angered. Shouts and murmurs of protest began to rise. Zulon, seeing the nascent rebellion, barked orders at his soldiers. "Deploy the stasis beams. Contain the unrest." Several Ekreed soldiers raised their arms, emitting pulsating beams that began to immobilize the more aggressive shoppers. However, Black Friday shoppers weren't so easily subdued. One by one, the beams flickered and failed against the sheer willpower of the crowd. Karen snorted. "See, Mandy? You can't control the uncontrollable." Mandy, while skeptical, realized they had to do something. "Mom, what if we just hack one of their devices? Maybe disrupt their plans?" Karen eyed her daughter, a mischievous glint in her eye. "You always were the tech genius. Let's do it." They moved toward the store's electronics section, weaving through the turmoil. There, an Ekreed drone hovered, a sleek, alien-looking control panel embedded in its frame. Mandy set to work, her fingers nimble and quick, cracking codes with the confidence only a teen could muster. "Got it," she whispered, tapping furiously. The drone buzzed, its signals glitching as it began to operate on a new frequency. Karen kept a lookout, her eyes constantly darting towards the increasingly frustrated aliens. Zulon noticed the change in behavior from one of his drones, his anger simmering. "Humans have interfered with our technology. Stop them!" Just as he sent the command, the compromised drone began malfunctioning in a spectacular and unexpected fashion, emitting a series of loud, discordant noises that drew the attention of every shopper. Karen couldn't help but laugh. "Ah, music to my ears." Mandy's hack caused the drone to lose control, and it began flying erratically, crashing into other Ekreed equipment and causing disarray. The aliens attempted to regain control, but the human shoppers, now emboldened, surged forward with renewed ferocity. "Everyone, time to push back! Show these guys what Black Friday really means," Karen shouted, leading the charge with her cart like a modern-day chariot. Her fellow shoppers needed no further encouragement. Armed with nothing but their determination and discount items, they overwhelmed the confused and outmatched aliens, turning the tide of the day. The Ekreed were learning a harsh lesson. Never underestimate a human's determination for a good deal. With every chaotic clash, Karen felt a dark satisfaction. If these aliens wanted a fight, they picked the wrong day and the wrong people. Her smile widened as she pushed ahead, the taste of victory and discounted plasma TV driving her forward. Karen Thompson's grip on her cart tightened as she pushed deeper into the madness. Human shoppers were now a strange blend of allies and obstacles. The plasma TV teetered dangerously, but she kept it balanced with the skill of a battle-hardened veteran. "Let's see those aliens try to beat a Black Friday mother," she muttered under her breath, her smile dark and determined. Mandy stayed close, her eyes flicking between the scene around them and her hijacked drone. Her face was a study in concentration, fingers dancing across her phone screen. "Mom, I'm routing their comms. Should mess up their coordination." Karen chuckled. "Good. Let's show them you can hack more than just your school's Wi-Fi." Overhead, the drone buzzed erratically, its signals hijacked and sending commands that confused the Ekreed soldiers. In their disciplined ranks, confusion spread like wildfire. Zulan's voice crackled over the malfunctioning headsets, barking distorted orders. Jorvax turned to his commander, his expression one of panic. "Commander, the humans are resisting. They're more coordinated than we thought." Zulan's eyes narrowed. "Impossible! They're nothing more than frenzied beasts. Overpower them!" But deep down, Karen knew better. Humans were unpredictable, and perhaps that was their greatest strength. Spotting a group of Ekreed attempting to regroup, she pushed her cart forward, ready to upset their plans. "A deal waits for no one," she said, barreling into the confused aliens. Nearby, a young man holding an absurd number of toasters shouted, "For Earth!" as he launched one at an Ekreed soldier. It hit with a resounding thunk, causing the alien to stagger. "For Earth and discounts!" Karen yelled back, laughter bubbling up in her chest. Chaos was now their greatest weapon. Mandy pointed toward another group of soldiers trying to flank them. "Mom, more of them. I think they're trying to cut us off." Karen kept moving, angling the cart with precision. "So we take the detour through home appliances. They'll never know what hit them." They redirected through towering shelves of kitchen gadgets. Karen swiped an electric kettle off the shelf, hurling it at an approaching Ekreed. The alien ducked, and she noted its bewildered expression with grim satisfaction. "Humans don't fight fair, do they?" Mandy remarked, a proud smile lighting up her face. "We fight smart," Karen corrected, feeling a surge of pride as her daughter's words echoed in her mind. The makeshift resistance was gaining momentum. Shoppers who moments ago were strangers now fought side by side, wielding whatever they could find. From rolling pins to dishwashers, everything became a weapon in their hands. Zulan, watching from a higher vantage point, couldn't believe his eyes. "How can these humans be pushing us back? This was supposed to be a simple conquest." Jorvax's voice was filled with despair. "Commander, their resistance is more intense than expected. Perhaps we should reconsider our approach." Zulan's face hardened. "No, we press on." Karen could hear the struggle in the aliens' voices, though the words were lost in translation. She turned to Mandy. "Keep that drone messing with their signals. We've got them on the ropes." Mandy nodded, her eyes fierce with determination. Already on it, they forged ahead, now a small but unstoppable force within the store's chaotic battleground. More Ekreed soldiers advanced, but Karen's group surged forward to meet them. Every small victory bolstered their spirits, creating an unyielding wave of resistance against the invaders. Human ingenuity, driven by the simple yet powerful force of determination, and maybe a bit of madness, was turning the tide. Karen felt a thrill in her chest she hadn't experienced in years. This insane, frantic scuffle for survival was invigorating. Mandy suddenly gasped. "Mom, the drone says they're calling for reinforcements." Karen's grin returned, even wider this time. "Then we better show them what happens when you mess with Black Friday shoppers." Somehow, in the middle of this consumer battlefield, Karen felt a deep sense of unity with her fellow humans. Together, they were more than just a crowd of deal hunters. They were a force, unpredictable and unstoppable, united by an unspoken promise to defend their ground. As they pushed forward, Karen felt invincible. In their darkest hour, humans were proving to be the heroes no one knew they were meant to be. And leading the charge, Plasma TV in tow, was just the perfect embodiment of their undying spirit. With every pulse of alien energy weaponry, the megastore transformed more and more into a war zone. Yet Karen Thompson gritted her teeth, surging forward with her cart like a general leading her troops into the fray. The stale lights of the store flickered as she shouted, "Stay strong, everyone! Discounts may be temporary, but bravery is forever." Beside her, Mandy continued to operate the hacked alien drone, her fingers dancing across the screen, disrupting the invaders' communications. "Mom, I'm picking up another wave. They're coming from the electronics section," she said, her voice taut with tension. Karen glanced over to see more Ekreed soldiers pouring in, their precision and advanced weaponry slicing through the aisles with cold efficiency. "Right, we're making our stand here," Karen declared, eyes locking with a group of determined shoppers. "Barricade! Use anything you can find," she ordered, pointing to the shelves. People immediately heaved appliances, packing them into a formidable barricade. Coffee makers, blenders, and toasters formed their makeshift fortification. Karen noted, with no small amount of satisfaction, the expression of disbelief on the Ekreed faces. Commander Zulon stood at the edge of the electronics section, observing the humans with a dark scowl. "Their resistance is more structured than anticipated," he hissed to Jorvax, his frustration evident. Jorvax nodded, his voice tense. "The human leading them, she's formidable." Karen caught sight of the commander and felt a smirk tug at her lips. "Oh, looks like we got a boss battle. Let's give him a proper welcome." Zulon raised his hand, signaling his soldiers to advance. Energy beams crackled through the air, searing and sparking as they struck the barricades. Shoppers ducked and took cover, but Karen stood firm. "Remember, folks, we are the last line of defense. We stand, we fight, we shop." A grizzled man wielded a frying pan like a club, taking a position by Karen's side. "You heard the lady. Let's show them what humans are made of." The Ekreed soldiers moved methodically, their movements precise and calculated. But every step they took closer to the impromptu fortress met fierce resistance, with human shoppers wielding whatever they could find. A barrage of toasters and irons rained down on the aliens, causing confusion and disorder within their ranks. One Ekreed soldier aimed directly at Karen, energy weapon glowing. She stared the soldier down, pushing her cart forward with a cackle. "Nice ray gun. I've got a coupon for that," she quipped, before swinging her cart in a wide arc, knocking the soldier off balance. Mandy, her eyes sharp, zeroed in on the alien commander. "If I can disrupt his command link, we can throw them into even more chaos," she said, transferring control from her rogue drone to her phone's interface. Karen's heart swelled with pride. "You go, girl. We'll keep them busy." Zulon's command device began to spark and whine as Mandy scrambled its signals. The confusion spread like wildfire among the Ekreed, their disciplined formation breaking under the uncertainty. The commander barked confused orders, filled with static. Karen swung her cart again, the plasma TV still miraculously balanced within. Every passing moment felt like an eternity, and yet her resolve remained ironclad. They pushed the Ekreed back, inch by inch, fueled by the gritty determination that only true bargain hunters possessed. With a burst of finality, Zulon's command link shattered under Mandy's relentless hacking. The Ekreed soldiers faltered, their movements disjointed and uncoordinated. Shoppers surged forward, determined to end this standoff once and for all. Karen, sweat dripping down her face, took one last look at the bewildered aliens. "You chose the wrong day and the wrong people to mess with," she declared. In that moment, she felt more alive than ever, standing united with her fellow humans in an absurd but undeniable battle for both survival and savings. As the Ekreed retreated in disarray, Karen knew victory was within reach. Energy coursing through her veins, she prepared for the final push, determined to show these aliens the true spirit of humanity. Karen Thompson's heart pounded with anticipation as the Ekreed retreated ever so slightly. This was it, the final push. Laden with makeshift weapons and their stolen plasma TV, the human resistance was ready to clobber the invaders. Karen's lips curled into a wolfish grin. "Victory is a discount well fought," she murmured, her voice dripping with dark humor. Mandy, still hacking away, glanced up. "Mom, I think they're starting to pull back. It's working." Karen laughed, a sound that felt wild and unrestrained. "Of course it is. We're the unstoppable force, and they're just the immovable objects." Her eyes darted around, seeing the tired yet determined faces of her fellow shoppers, united by a cause they never anticipated. Commander Zulon, standing in the chaos of what was once a pristine electronics section, struggled to reestablish control. "Regroup! Don't let them gain any more ground!" His voice crackled with frustration, every order struggling to cut through the interference Mandy had engineered. Karen's gaze locked onto Zulon. "Time to end this," she said, pushing her cart one last time towards the commander. Zulon's eyes met hers, and in that instant, Karen saw recognition, a moment where he understood the force of human determination. She barreled forward, the cart crashing into Zulon. "This is for every last deal," she shouted heroically, leveraging all her weight. Zulon staggered but held his ground, his alien eyes flashing with confusion and anger. Zulon pointed his weapon, but before he could fire, Mandy's drone swooped in, knocking the device out of his hands. "That was mine," Mandy yelled, vindication clear in her voice. Human shoppers poured in, their courage now a tidal wave that would not be stopped. They carried everything: bats, pots, even the occasional skateboard, turning every inch of the megastore into a battleground of resilience and impromptu weaponry. Zulon's soldiers, now disorganized and demoralized, struggled to maintain their ground. Karen, almost poetic in her ferocity, kept her eyes on Zulon. "This is a lesson you won't forget," she growled, smacking him with a toaster. The sound of metal hitting armor was music to her ears. Mandy continued her digital assault, rendering more of the Ekreid's devices useless. "Mom, their systems are falling apart. They're losing control." "Good. Let's keep up the pressure," Karen replied, her dark humor blending with the seriousness of their final stand. She felt invincible, a warrior on her battlefield. Jorvac, seeing his commander falter, called out, "Commander, we must retreat. The humans are relentless." Zulon growled, his resolve cracking. "Fall back. This isn't over." The Ekreid soldiers began to pull back, their advanced formation dissolving into sheer chaos. Cheers erupted among the human ranks as they realized victory was within their grasp. The aliens, overwhelmed and outclassed in sheer determination and grit, hastily fled the store. Karen stood triumphant, her cart by her side, the plasma TV glinting under the store's battered lights. "See? Told you Black Friday was war," she quipped, her voice tinged with a dark sense of accomplishment. Mandy ran to her side, her smile radiant despite the chaos. "We did it, Mom! We actually did it!" Karen placed a hand on her daughter's shoulder. "No, kiddo, you did it. With that brain of yours and a little human spirit." Shoppers, now warriors in their own right, began to regroup, their faces etched with pride and relief. They had defended their ground against an alien invasion, armed with nothing but everyday items and unbreakable resolve. As the last of the Ekreid vanished from sight, Karen felt a deep sense of unity with her fellow humans. They had come together in the most ridiculous yet heroic way possible. Turning to Mandy, she said with epic gravitas, "Together we stand, divided we shop, but always, always we conquer." They headed for the checkout, plasma TV in tow, as the first light of dawn broke through the shattered windows. Karen couldn't help but chuckle. In their darkest hour, humans had turned a shopping frenzy into a testament of their indomitable spirit. And for Karen, that was the biggest win of all.